A ticket-writing scheme in Collegedale, Tennessee, has led multiple police officers to claim they were fired for attempting to call out the illegal orders handed down to them to make arrests and write tickets. Former Collegedale police officers Robert Beadle, Colby Duckett, and David Schilling have all filed lawsuits against the city and its officials for wrongful termination after speaking out against what they refer to as an illegal quota system. Now this month, the last officer left on the force finally resigned. The Free Thought Project reports that on Friday, Ridgetop Police Chief Brian Morris submitted his resignation, and the town is now without a police force. In September, Duckett and Schilling came forward with the same allegations as Beadle. All three officers were fired without reason when they claimed to be exposing the illegal quota system. Janie Parks Varnell, the attorney representing all three cops, argued the firings were just another example of the city of Collegedale, Chief Brian Hickman, and city manager Ted Rogers terminating skilled officers simply because they brought attention to the illegal quota system implemented by the department. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snos.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNOS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snos.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
After years of weekly meetings with his psychologist, local man Chris Vaughn told reporters today he was excited to only have 2 sessions left before completely resolving all of his emotional issues and never having the need to return to another therapy session again.
When I started therapy, I knew if I could make it through exactly 120 50-minute sessions with Dr. Warner, then all of my issues with depression and crippling anxiety would be gone. Next week we're covering my parents. The week after that we're wrapping up my trust issues, and then I should be good to go.
According to Vaughn, it took 40 sessions alone to fully resolve his feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem resulting from an unhappy childhood. Vaughn's therapist, Dr. Susan Warner, told Onion reporters that she's pleased with her patient's progress and relieved that his long-time emotional and cognitive issues are nearly solved for good.
I told him that getting healthy would take at least 100 hours of therapy, and now he'll never have to see me again. Thank God for that. That guy was a real piece of work.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. This is Free Talk Live. It's the live Saturday edition of the program. As always, you're invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You can just hop into one of those if you want to sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Tonight, it's Ian.
And the nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
We're going to do an update coming up here tonight on an old case that many of our listeners, if you weren't listening back a decade ago, you may not remember. If you weren't from New Hampshire, you didn't pay attention to so-called tax protesters. Ed and Elaine Brown, an older couple. They were older at the time they were arrested a decade ago, so now they got a decade on top of that. They may have their sentences reduced, and we'll get into that story coming up here. But in other news, we go to Michigan, where you're from, Nobody. Originally, this is where you... Well, I don't think this is from Ann Arbor. But the story here is this is coming from Reason.com. An 83-year-old retired engineer underpaid his property taxes by $8.41. In response, Oakland County seized his property, auctioned it off to settle the debt, and pocketed nearly $24,500 in excess revenue from the sale.
Now, how does that happen? I mean, did they say, hey, if you don't give us $10, we're going to seize your property? And he said, nah. Or was it just a done deal before he even knew what was happening?
Well, it's a good question. We'll get deeper into the story here, and I'm not an expert by any means on what they call tax sales.
It's theft.
That's a euphemism for stealing, and then throwing somebody out of their own home.
Yeah.
And so I'm not an expert on it, and Jay Noon isn't with us tonight. He's actually one of our co-hosts. You do a show with him on Wednesday nights called Freer Talk Live on our video streaming services, which, by the way, I sent an email out about to our email list today promoting that.
Nice.
So, if you haven't checked that out, you can go to dlive.lrn.fm or twitch.lrn.fm, and you can watch it live on Wednesday nights. There's also a couple archives available. But Jay's the only co-host we have who actually has had this happen to him, where the town of Palmer, Massachusetts, stole his house from him on paper, and then they sent men with guns to physically remove him from what he believed was his own property. And I believe, and please call in if you know more about this, because like I said, I'm not an expert. I think that the way it tends to work in most states is, let's say that the town says that you owe them $10,000 in back taxes. You haven't paid, you're a scofflaw and you haven't paid taxes for 2 years or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So you owe $10,000, they claim. Well, if they start going through the tax sale process and they sell the house at auction, the house is going to go to the highest bidder. And the way that I thought it was supposed to work was that let's say the bidder, bids $30,000 for your house, but you owe $10,000. Well, supposedly they're supposed to pay off what is owed, and then the owner still, the new buyer gets the house, but you're supposed to get the extra. At least that's what I thought.
One would think.
Yeah.
Of course, it's going to depend on the state laws because none of that stuff is federal.
Correct. And in Michigan, all of what the county did to this 83-year-old retired engineer was completely legal, and it's also not uncommon. His name is Yuri Raffaelli, and he lost his property and all the equity associated with it. He's just one of thousands of people who have been victimized by Michigan's uniquely aggressive property tax statute. The law, passed in 1999 in an attempt to accelerate the rehabilitation of abandoned properties, empowers county treasurers to act as debt collectors. In the process, it creates a perverse incentive by allowing treasurers' offices to retain excess revenue raised by seizing and selling properties with delinquent taxes. So just to be clear, I'm against all tax sales. Okay, I think that it is what you said. It's stealing. It's one of the worst forms of it because you're literally stealing a home from underneath people.
Well, even Machiavelli said, no matter what you do to people, don't steal their land.
Did he really?
They will never forgive you.
Wow. Yeah, and that's how bad it is in Michigan, where they are going after people's property and then keeping the proceeds. It says here that so even when the amount owed is minuscule, as in this case, and even when the homes aren't abandoned or blighted at all. Organizations representing property owners like Raffaelli say the practice is unconstitutional, inequitable, and unreasonably harsh. They call it, quote, home equity theft, a process that's close relative to the civil asset forfeiture laws that have been used by police departments to similarly deprive innocent Americans of their property without due process. And they're now asking the state Supreme Court to restrict the practice. Christina Martin, who's an attorney with the Pacific Legal Foundation, a nonprofit law firm representing the man and other homeowners, says, quote, Michigan is currently stealing from people across the state. Counties have been authorized to take not just what they're owed, but to take people's life savings. So, definitely, I think most people are going to agree that this goes too far. I can't imagine.
Yeah, even normal statists can't be all right with this.
That's what I'm saying. I can't imagine there's anybody in our audience who thinks, stick it to that guy. He owed $9 in back taxes. Take his whole house from him and keep all the proceeds. Who could possibly defend something like this?
There's probably some moron that if you talk to him, he'd be like, well, he should have followed the law.
Oh, yeah. Well, I bet you can talk to... I'm certainly that's going to be what the opinion of the county treasurer is. You know, if they speak about it, they'll probably not speak to the media on this matter. But if you could get them to speak, that's probably what they would say. We're just following the law. We're just doing our jobs. We're authorized to take his property and sell it. What do you want us to do? Be human? Be, compassionate? Humane? Yeah, actually try to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Have a little empathy for other people. But the nice thing about being in the government gang is empathy's not required. It's not something that it helps your job in government. You don't, make more money if you care about people. Mm-hmm. So there's no incentive. As you know, the government will take whatever they want, and they'll take as much as they can get away with. So that's what they do.
And, this is why it's like, I mean, if I was that age and they
83
took my home, at that point, depending on my circumstances after that happened, I might be like, well, okay, I'm going to have a last hurrah and find a way to mess this guy up
who
did this to me. And, I wouldn't blame somebody who did that.
I wouldn't either. And there have been some people who have gone off the deep end, and understandably. The Killdozer guy, that's one thing I was thinking of. There was another guy who went into, probably like a decade ago, went into a city council meeting after they'd ruled against him on some, property-related thing, and just started blasting.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think violence solves problems, but I agree with you, Nobody, that I totally understand why people pushed to their last ends would do something like that.
See, violence is not my preferred way of solving problems, but it would be interesting to look back at the jurisdiction where, let's look back at a jurisdiction where somebody got his house stolen and took the thief out, and find out what happened to property foreclosure, to tax liens in future years. Like, did they think twice before they did that again? And I don't know what either of these two cases were about, but
good question.
I
bet they would.
I would think so.
So we can tell you more about this particular case, and if you want to comment, please, if you think this is somehow okay. If you think it's okay to, number one, steal somebody's house from them, but number two, then give them absolute zero from the proceeds of the sale of that house, even though they, have already satisfied the debt. In this case, it was less than $9 that the man owed on property taxes. And we will learn more about it here. So the toll-free number, if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Can you imagine how you would feel if you were in his shoes? 83 years old, Michigan. Where do you go after you lose your home that you've saved a lifetime to own? This is one of the biggest purchases that most human beings will make in their life. And to just have it stolen from you by some heartless bureaucrats. This is Free Talk Live.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com, and it's a place you can send any business, and they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Do you have a qualified plan, an IRA, 401k, 401(b), or some other type of investment account? Would you like to learn how the ultra-wealthy take their investment accounts and make them legally 100% tax-free? Have your money liquid and invest in literally anything you want to completely tax-free with the blessing of the IRS. And no, it's not a Roth. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarists, thinkers, and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial in here toll free. Our number is 855-450-FREE. We're talking about stealing. Oh, wait, no, it's called a tax sale when the government does it. It's not stealing when they do it. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And nobody.
Also, if you care about freedom and you are an individual who rejects the initiation of force and you agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, go to liberty.menu and get the things that you do listed there. It's like a libertarian business directory, basically. But you can also put up your digital content that you're the creator of, or maybe you've got an event that you're helping organize and you want to help promote that. There's categories for all those things. Over at liberty.menu, you can use code FTL. You'll get a special Free Talk Live listener badge. We can't give you a discount because it's free to use the site. So get on over to liberty.menu if you want to find out who else is doing liberty-friendly business and give them your business, or maybe get some business for the things that you do. So once again, it's liberty.menu. Let's go to Brian. He's on listening to WNAE in Warren, Pennsylvania. Hey, Brian, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Welcome. You're on the air. Doing good.
Well, I wanted to talk about how you were discussing, like, the people who are losing their house because of the sheriff sales, the tax liens, and foreclosure. I know a little bit about it because it kind of just happened to me and a bunch of people I know. And what they're doing, I hate to say this, but it is absolutely unconstitutional, illegal, and just downright just inhumane.
What happened to you? Was it there in Pennsylvania?
Yeah. Basically, like, one of the things that happened, like, one of my properties, it fell a little bit behind on the taxes. And before, it was always something like you had to be 3 years behind, 5 years behind, 7 years behind, or above a certain amount. They still have those laws in many states, but what they did is they went and changed all the wordings on those laws. So now it's like, say, for example, like in 2015, if my school tax was $900, but I paid $899 and left that $1 behind, and that $1 has been behind for 3 years, they will take your house and sell it over $1.
Wow. And this is not, some old law that nobody was aware of or using. This is something that somebody intentionally did within the last few years. That's horrific.
I would say at least within the last 5 years, they went back and intentionally changed these laws and the wording. And the crazy thing is, like I was there in a hearing at the courthouse, and like people, they let you have a hearing first, like maybe a week before the sale or before the due date, and people can give their case about why you should take my house or da-da-da. And every single person was like, well, I got cancer. My mom has stage 4 cancer. I can't work because I'm taking care of her. And the cancer, we had chemotherapy for 9 months. It went away. It came back. It went away.
Oh, man.
It came back. Or people were like, well, I got hit by a drunk driver. All my legs, both my legs were broke. My arms were broke.
So everybody in there that was having their houses stolen or about to have their house stolen by the government, they were all in the middle of some sort of personal difficulty or tragedy that brought extra costs, unexpected costs into their lives.
Yeah.
And they, you know what? When you got a hospital bill to pay, you got loved ones to take care of. It's understandable that the certain payments might go to the back end. They might not get done as soon as they otherwise would.
Did you see anybody get any mercy out of these?
Nope. They denied
monsters?
every single person. Every single person. And I was sitting there with my jaw on the floor like, this is unreal.
Well, I mean, there's no better way to
people
fight
had the
cancer
most-
than from the streets when you're, living in a cardboard box.
Yeah, no doubt.
And we're
That's
sitting there like, the answer to this is make people homeless. I'm like, it was insanity. I mean, people were crying and
Well, okay.
It was unreal.
So think about it. This is the state gang's perspective here as well. We've got to get revenue. We can't just let people not pay taxes. What would happen if people saw that we're going to be soft on people not paying taxes? Then everybody's not going to pay taxes.
Well, the thing is, I know the older part of the law, it was just like, it allowed you to go into like a repayment plan.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you may not have the full amount right now or whatever, but all right, you can start paying on it as long as you're paying whatever, $100 a month or more or something just to show for good faith. They would let you keep the house. They went back and took that out.
Got rid of that stuff.
Wow.
Yep.
That's shocking. So what happened to you when you were at this hearing?
They denied me everything.
And how much did they claim that you owe? Because I don't think taxes, I don't think anybody owes.
It's not a real debt.
Criminals.
Well, it was kind of double issue because they're overtaxing me, but even all together, we're talking like it was like $4,000. I'm like, okay, well, we'll have the $4,000 by this date. Nope, we're taking it.
Wow.
We're gone.
wow.
So you told them you were going to pay.
I'm so sorry that happened to you, bro.
And so how long after that was it that they actually auctioned the house after the court hearing happened?
It was like it was like the next day, next week. It was real short.
Did you go? Did you go to look the person in the eye who was buying the property from the state?
Actually, I tried to go to the auction. They wouldn't let me in.
Oh, hell
They
no.
locked me out.
Yeah, they don't
I
want.
was like,
So they wouldn't have.
It's unreal.
Were you intending to bid on it?
They won't let you.
They will not let.
actually, you can bid on it. You
Really?
can bid on your own house.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
What was their excuse for not letting you in then?
I have no idea. Like they kind of know me, I guess, or something. But like, because like I know at our courthouse, when you come in, it's like a whole big ordeal to go into the courthouse. They like asking for ID. You're not allowed to use a cell phone. It's all kind of crazy stuff.
Wow.
Wow.
So they actually have the tax sale at the courthouse behind security. That's interesting because it wasn't that way in Massachusetts when they stole our friend and co-host Jay Noon's home, because I did go to that tax sale and we brought a video camera in there and it was in town hall. So there wasn't any security standing in the way of people going there. So it's very, very different situations in each state. So they tax saled the property. In Pennsylvania, is it that they get to keep all the revenue, or did you get a cut from whatever overage? So if you owed $4,000 and the house went for $36,000 or whatever, did you get $32,000, or how'd that work?
You're supposed to get the extra money, but from what I'm seeing, no one has been getting extra money. Pretty much the government has pretty much just been taking it. Whoever, either they're just giving the money to the city government, county government, or just sending it off to like PA Department of Revenue.
And then at what point did you get an eviction notice after that tax sale happened? the stealing?
They actually never gave us one. Like the guy who bought the house, like showed up like 2 days later and was like, "Well, I bought the house. You got such and such time to move out."
Wow. Did you say anything to him? Like, do you have a conscience?
Like I talked to him, he kind of was all right, but the thing I was trying to tell him, I was like, well, the law still has to be 30 days notice for you to be able to find a place or something, or at least move yourself into storage. And
it's horrifying.
He claimed that the government told him all this different stuff and this and this. They told him that the house was vacant. No one lived there for 10 years.
Oh, my God. Ridiculous. Brian, thank you for sharing your story with us here tonight. It's horrifying. It can happen to anyone.
With Fortune DNA, you can invest in anything you want to. 100% tax-free for you and your heirs. And use your money before you're 59 and a half without ever losing your principal. All with the blessing of the IRS. Avoid the volatility of the market, put certainty back into your investing future, and keep full access to your money with Fortune DNA. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Does this ever happen to you? Moments after you're introduced to someone, you forget his or her name. It's a common faux pas you'll want to avoid, especially if you're a job seeker. And even if you're not, here's a tip. As you are being introduced, and while you're still shaking hands, smiling, and making eye contact, say the person's name aloud. Not only does that make a deposit in your memory bank, it acknowledges the other person. And that is more than a nuance, as is maintaining eye contact. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. Cutting through the clutter rather than blending into the blah, blah, blah will help you connect better, no matter what the conversation. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, talking about property theft. Government calls it a tax sale. You owe them, they say, whatever arbitrary number they've come up with, because all taxes are arbitrary. They just decide on a number that they think they can get away with taxing people, and that's what they go with, slowly raising it over time. I mean, how many places in the United States have a lowering tax rate? How many real estate taxes have gone down in the last 20 or 30 years?
Yeah, even if the value's gone down, the property
tax
taxes,
rate.
the rates are not going down.
Especially if the value goes down. Because remember in the aughts when we had the real estate bubble burst, a bunch of values did go down. And what did governments do to respond to that? Did they cut their services? Did they cut staff? Did they cut unnecessary bureaucracy? Hell no. They doubled down on taxes.
Really? Was there a wave of tax increases during that?
Absolutely.
Oh,
How else were
God.
they going to? They're not going to fire their government goon employees
themselves.
They got used to all that big money coming in from the housing prices going up, and they didn't want it. They didn't want the gravy train to end, so just raise the prices.
Wow.
So you can join us here on our toll-free lines. Our number is 855-450-FREE. And, I mean, within moments of having spoken about this man's story, and we've got more to tell you about it, from Reason.com, Michigan man had back taxes owed of $8.41. It was basically a mistake that he made. And the county seized his house and sold it and kept all of the revenue. And within moments, we had a guy call from Pennsylvania who had the exact same thing happen to him in a completely different state.
Yeah, over $4,000, which,
right.
That's not a significant fraction of home value anywhere in America,
Not
as
at
far
all.
as I know.
And by no means is it going to be a significant fraction of whatever county or city it was that did the stealing in his case, in their budget. More from the story here over at Reason.com, but I do want to also share with you about the Edge wallet. You can go to edge.app and download Edge wallet. You can also just go straight to your Google or Apple App Store. It's my favorite cryptocurrency wallet that's out there. I use it every day. Used it today. Bought breakfast. We met with a guy actually at the local bar who had an interesting thing that he was pitching about one of those kind of move here project ideas, kind of like the Free State Project. And I can't say anything more about that, but he had a really good pitch. But we were there, and I paid with Edge Wallet when I paid with my Dash, which is one of my cryptocurrencies that I have held in my Edge Wallet. You can also, in addition to hold on to cryptos, you can buy, sell, and trade cryptos right from your Edge Wallet. So Bitcoin or Ethereum, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, and a variety of others. And it's free to download, so check it out over at edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. As we continue, hear more from the story at Reason.com about the man named Yuri Raffaelli, who lost his property and, whatever his life savings probably was, because that's a significant purchase to buy a house. It's a 30-year lease in most people's cases, and that's a long time to pay something off. Raffaelli's case, which has the potential to stop the predatory behavior of county treasurers, because he's suing. He and some other homeowners or former homeowners in Michigan are going after the state law in this case.
Nice.
In August of 2011, he purchased his 3-bedroom, 1,500-square-foot home in the predominantly African-American community of Southfield, Michigan, a lower middle-class suburb just north of Detroit. So I guess it was kind of close to where you were from.
Yeah, I used to go to Ramshorn in Southfield back in the day.
What's that?
Kind of a
What's Ramshorn?
little chain restaurant.
The investment was good to the state economy, and at the same time, it may produce a good rent for my retirement, he said. A win-win situation, said Raffaelli, who lived in neighboring Macomb County at the time. He has left Michigan since this whole incident has happened. Understandably, the $60,000 purchase was recorded by the Oakland County Register of Deeds in January of 2012. About 6 months later, in June, Raffaelli was notified he had underpaid his 2011 property tax bill by $496. Raffaele made subsequent property tax payments on time and in full, and in January of 2013, he attempted to settle the unpaid tax debt, according to court documents, but he made a mistake in calculating the interest owed, resulting in another underpayment of $8.41. A little more than a year later, in February of 2014, Raffaele's rental property was one of 11,000 properties put up for auction by Oakland County. Can you imagine this?
That's a lot of properties.
Year?
I mean, Oakland County is a pretty full county. I mean, it's got a lot of people in it, but 11,000 houses.
Properties, yeah.
That's crazy.
Now, is that the same county that has Detroit?
No, Detroit's
to the north?
In Wayne County.
Okay.
Yeah, Oakland is
north of there.
North
Okay.
of that.
So I don't know if 11,000 is one, quarter's worth, 1 year's worth of properties that they've stolen. But either way, it's a shocking number. I mean, if it's a year or a quarter year or a month, it's shocking any way you slice it.
Yeah, I mean, that's enough people to form a pretty good-sized militia unit.
Absolutely. Going on here, and it sold for, again, $24,500, which was far less than what Raffaele had paid for the property just 3 years prior. Today, real estate service Zillow, which rates the Southfield region as a hot market in the Detroit area, estimates the property is worth $128,000. But Raffaele has missed out on reaping his financial reward for being an early investor in the area. Quote, I believed in the power of the United States to withstand the difficulties, he said, and I believed in its fairness and dignity in doing business there. Now, he says he thinks differently.
Well, you should.
And sadly, this is what it takes for a lot of people to open their eyes to how horrifying and violent and dangerous and corrupt and awful the governments in the United States are. This isn't, Michigan may be somewhat different from some other states in that they will keep 100% of the proceeds from a tax sale. Some other states don't do it quite that way. But they're still ruining people's lives by stealing houses in every state in the union. This is common. This happens everywhere.
And I don't know. I don't understand the justification for it. And they do this to old people. They do it, like the guy was saying, they do this to people
cancer victims
who are sick, to people who, they've got a good reason for being in trouble.
They're not doing it to rich people. They're the ones paying paying taxes on time. They got plenty of money.
And it also kind of illustrates why, people will talk about payday loans.
Mm-hmm.
And how, those interest rates are irrational. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they are, but if you have to take a payday loan for a few $100s to avoid losing your house, it might be exactly the right thing to do if you have no other option. And so, people forget about the corner cases where people do weird things because they're in a weird situation.
Right. Yeah, the money's it's just so shocking that people, they have to find out the hard way. They even just reading about this stuff until it happens to you, it's almost unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Reading about something like this, like there's probably some people who are in denial over hearing this, that they don't believe this could even be possible. Oh, well, of course he'll be successful in court. They'll see that he's suing, and then they'll think to themselves, well, that's good. He's using the system. He's going to have, he'll be victorious because that's the right thing, and the courts will rule in the right way. They'll favor the homeowners in this case. There's so much misplaced optimism onto the system, and it doesn't deserve it. The system is designed to support itself, to support its own actors. The courts are likely to rule in the favor of the state 9 times out of 10. So it could go in his favor, but the odds are highly against that happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I mean, you never know, because, I've, the last 9, I think, 8 or 9 times I've been taken to court on a criminal matter, I whooped them. So sometimes they just don't know you're going to fight back, so they cheat.
Well, that's true. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You want to share your thoughts on stealing homes? That's one of those things the government does, and they usually like to do it in the quiet of darkness. We're coming up.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
We can all agree these are troubled times, right? So do you know who's on your wireless network? Whether it's a big company selling your data or a foreign hacker, if you're not protected, everybody sees your information. That's why you need Flash Routers, a custom Wi-Fi router created for privacy. Flash Routers uses a virtual private network, or VPN, to protect your online activity from hackers, trackers, and large corporations. And not just one, but all your devices with one out-of-the-box setup. Plus, Flash Routers also enhances your wireless network performance and unlocks powerful router management tools to let you take total control of your network. Call or click Flash Routers today at 1-866-509-5817 or FLASHROUTERS.com. That's 1-866-509-5817 or FlashRouters.com. Protect your wireless home network today with Flash Routers.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Free Talk Live.
The idea that politicians are leaders. Check your premises on that one.
Cutting proof.
Really? Would you really follow Barack Obama or George Bush? Would you really follow their every command? Would you follow their suggestions? Do you believe that politicians are somehow more knowledgeable than you are? That politicians are of a special group of people? They're a special little critter that for some reason is more enlightened or educated? Constantly you can hear talking heads refer to the authorities or our leaders in Washington, and it's just patently absurd. I mean, these people are failures at life. That's why they became politicians.
Right. There's so many of them are attorneys. The good attorneys make a whole bunch of money and retire with yachts. The unsuccessful ones go into politics.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're over at discord.lrn.fm, and we are talking about the stealing of people's homes. They call it tax sailing when they do it. And in Michigan, apparently they're authorized, the government gangs, are authorized by their state statutes to just go ahead and keep all the proceeds when they sell somebody's house out from underneath them. In the case of the man that they're doing the story about at Reason.com, he owed just under $9 in back taxes, and that was enough for the county to just go ahead and sell his home and another that looks like about 10,000 houses in, and it's not clear what time frame, but apparently in February of 2014, this one rental property in his case was one of 11,000 properties put up for auction by Oakland County. So I don't know if that's for a whole year or if it's all 10,000 just for 1 month, but we do get some more numbers coming here for the entire state of Michigan and how many have happened statewide. We'll give you that coming up here in just a moment. With you tonight, by the way, it's Ian.
And Nobody.
Nobody, you've got a website. It's electnobody.com.
Yep.
What are folks going to find if they go there?
Well, they're going to find information about my gubernatorial campaign. I'm running for governor of the state of New Hampshire, and I'm looking to pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history.
Wow. What would that include?
That would include drug crimes. It would include prostitution crimes, gambling crimes, gun crimes, but these have to be crimes without victims.
Right.
Okay. It's one thing if you sold some drugs. It's another thing if you knowingly sold something that hurt people because it wasn't what you said it was.
Or knocked somebody over the head and robbed them for their drugs or something like that.
Oh yeah. That's not a drug crime. That's a violent crime.
Right. We're going to go back to your calls and thoughts. You can bring up whatever you want. Check out electnobody.com for more of him as we go to Tom in New Hampshire. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Tom.
A couple of points about impeachment. Donald Trump is spewing out a bunch of nonsense about the whistleblower and how he's full of lies and they had no... See, don't confuse that kind of line of reasoning with the exclusionary rule. I read about a case on a lawyer's website, a northbound driver turning left to go westbound. There's two westbound lanes, and he didn't go into the closest one. He went to the further one, the right-hand westbound lane, and the cop pulled him over and said, "Hey, why do you cut the left turn so wide?" Which the DWI defense lawyer checked out that it wasn't illegal to make a left turn that way. There's no law in that state saying you have to go into the nearest of the lanes when you're making the left.
What does that have to do with impeachment?
Yes, it does, because if the cop stopped him illegally, then smelling booze on his breath was evidence that was illegal, the result of an illegal stop.
That's
and therefore
true.
All of the evidence can be suppressed, but that's not the case.
That's called
here
fruit of the
because
poisonous
it's
tree.
Not the basis. It's not the
poison
basis.
tree.
See, there is no search and seizure being contested. It's a whistleblower starting an investigation, which is the first point. It's not any question of the exclusionary rule excluding any evidence that was the fruit of any poison tree, because there was no...
Well, the exclusionary rule doesn't really apply to impeachment anyway, because impeachment is a political process.
Yeah,
it's not a legal process. But I'll tell you what, I really do want to know who this whistleblower was. And the reason is... it's quite possible that both Trump and Biden are dirty.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're a politician, you're probably dirty.
Yeah, and so...
Especially in the federal government.
I would really... I mean, I don't care if they impeach Trump or not, but I hope they continue... I wouldn't be surprised if he was impeached and acquitted.
Right. I meant, it won't go all the way. Yeah.
I would be very surprised if he was removed unless something big comes out before
No way.
then.
Yeah, they would have to persuade way too many Republicans to switch sides on that. Thank you for the call, Tom. Appreciate it. The toll-free number here tonight is 855-450-FREE. So let's talk more about stealing these properties in Michigan. According to Reason.com, court documents show that Raffaelli's attorneys estimate that there have been more than 100,000 properties, along with the entire equity in those properties, that have been taken by Michigan counties since 2002.
Wow.
100,000 people's lives ruined. 100,000 families, perhaps. I mean, maybe some businesses were included in these, but hundreds, tens of thousands of families' lives upended, thrown out, jettisoned from the place that was their refuge from cold winters and all other problems in life.
Yeah, and even if it's a business, like this was a rental property, but
right.
If people were living there, then their lives get upended. If it's a business and people are working there, their lives get upended. The people who count on that business for whatever service it is they provide, they've got issues. It's an absurdity.
It's frustrating. Quote, this results in millions of dollars in surplus proceeds and equity for the counties and tax sale purchasers. Because, most of the people that go to these tax sales, they're getting a pretty good deal on the properties. Usually they go for a fraction of what they would normally go for, at least in my experience. I think Jay Noon's house, our co-host, when this happened to him down in Massachusetts, I don't think it went for more than $14,000 or $25,000 or something. Like it wasn't a whole lot of money for a house.
Wow.
And we actually went down there when this happened. It was me and Pete Eyre from Cop Block and a couple of other folks from the Keene area went down to support Jay at this. It was actually when I got arrested down in Palmer, was going to one of these hearings and walking around the county, or not the county, the town facility or their building with a video camera. Got me arrested. I ended up winning that particular case. But the reason I was there was to record video of the tax sale process and get this person, whoever these people were who were going there to buy stolen property. Now, I understand most of them don't understand that, right? They don't think about that. Most people don't, it's just a tax sale. I get a good deal on property, right? Go down and place a bid. But we wanted to, when we went down there, inform these people of what they were doing and let them know that we don't appreciate it and they should be shamed for it. They should be informed. And if they continue to go and bid on people's properties after they've been informed that, hey, you're bidding on stolen property here, buddy. And if they continue to do it, then shame them for it and publicly release their picture so people know who's doing this stuff. Because, if nobody went, not you, but if no one went to these tax sales, then what would happen? If they take a property and nobody comes to the tax sale, they don't get their money because they want the money out of the tax sale. Well, then nobody bid. No one bid on the property. What happens then? Yeah, but the thing is, there's not a case where no one will bid on the thing because there isn't.
Somebody's
going to show up.
Somebody's going to have thick enough skin to take the heat.
Yep.
About that, because there are people who just don't care.
That's right.
And there are also people who say, well, this guy doesn't have his house no matter what happens to it, so I have to take the best deal I can get. Which.
Yeah, but what would happen if no one showed up at this tax sale and not even anyone at the tax sale bid on the property, and then it still sits there? Have they actually taken it from him until the sale happens? Like, I don't know exactly what the legal process is. Do they do the deeding to the town first and then do they do the eviction before the tax sale, or do they do the tax sale and just deed it from the owner to the new owner, and the town doesn't take possession of it in the middle point? So I'm not sure exactly how the legality flow, if you will, works here.
I don't know how that works works either.
If you can call us up here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. So they talk about this 1999 law in their property tax statutes where they changed this, and they gave their 83 county treasurers the authority to act as primary agents for handling the foreclosure and auction of properties with unpaid taxes. They also expedited the process for seizing and auctioning homes that owed taxes, so now they can do it faster than ever, allowing county treasuries to sweep aside liens and other speed bumps in the tax foreclosure process.
They can go past liens?
Apparently. Well, they're the government, right? They can do what they want. 855-450-FREE. And what are you going to do about it? Well, in this case, this guy made the right choice. He moved out of Michigan. Because the odds that you're going to change this before, he's 83 years old, before he passes away, pretty slim. More coming up. This is Free Talk Live. Hour 2's next.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,462, silver at $16.85, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,777. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, Mexican media and public figures are increasingly growing nervous about the possibility that continued drug cartel violence in the country could lead their northern neighbors in Washington to act rashly by declaring the powerful criminal groups to be terrorist organizations, resulting in a U.S. military intervention on Mexican soil. The speculation comes after 9 U.S. citizens from a Mormon sect were slaughtered this week by a drug cartel. Also on Thursday, Mexican daily Sin Embargo published a story detailing how U.S. lawmakers and top media outlets are pushing for the U.S. government to declare the cartels to be terrorists. Such a move could clear the path to unilateral actions by the Pentagon, handing the mantle of a war on drugs to the U.S. Armed Forces, after Mexico's president has repeatedly made clear he is in favor of pursuing a socioeconomic solution to the huge problem of crime in the country, or, as he puts it, hugs and not bullets. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The Epstein didn't kill himself meme has reached an entirely new, unprecedented level, as it has officially crossed the line from internet meme into physical reality via the underside of a beer can. The Mind Unleash reports that Tactical Ops Brewing in Fresno, California, is printing the message, Epstein didn't kill himself, on the bottom of beer cans, That's according to local Fox affiliate KMPH. Carlos Taver, manager of Tactical Ops, said that the idea for printing the message on the brewery's cans first came to him around a week ago because the Jeffrey Epstein meme is, quote, a big thing right now, end quote. Only about 54 packs of cans of Basher Oatmeal Stout with the special messages printed on the bottom will be released by the brewery. A ticket writing scheme in Collegedale, Tennessee, has led multiple police officers to claim they were fired for attempting to call out the illegal orders handed down to them to make arrests and write tickets. Former Collegedale police officers Robert Beadle, Colby Duckett, and David Schilling have all filed lawsuits against the city and its officials for wrongful termination after speaking out against what they refer to as an illegal quota system. Now this month, the last officer left on the force finally resigned. The Free Thought Project reports that on Friday, Ridgetop Police Chief Brian Morris submitted his resignation, and the town is now without a police force. In September, Duckett and Schilling came forward with the same allegations as Beadle. All three officers were fired without reason when they claimed to be exposing the illegal quota system. Janie Parks Varnell, the attorney representing all three cops, argued the firings were just another example of the city of Collegedale, Chief Brian Hickman, and city manager Ted Rogers terminating skilled officers simply because they brought attention to the illegal quota system implemented by the department. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snos.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNOS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snos.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Hi, I'm Clint Webb, and I'm running for Senate. I have a short cropped haircut, a pretty enough yet accessible looking wife, and a newborn baby that I've dressed in a suit to prove to you that I mean business. For the last 15 years, I've lived my life in such a bland, uncontroversial, and repressed manner that it's almost unnatural. Why? Because I've been preparing to be your representative since I was a child. Most well-adjusted, sane men would be hesitant to take a job where their decisions would so drastically affect the lives of so many. But not me. I possess a sort of sociopathic narcissism that makes me think that I should be in charge of everyone. But all of that needs to start here at home, in this beautiful state that I've grown to love since I moved here 18 months ago. Together, we can piggyback some of our state's legitimate needs onto my unquenchable lust for self-glorification. And that's a promise.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition of the show. We're inside a program where you can call and talk about anything you want, although we've been focused on house stealing. The government gangs in Michigan, according to one estimate, have stolen over 100,000 properties
You bastards!
in less than 2 decades. It's horrifying what they're doing to people. But that's not the only estimate. That was just the estimate of the man's attorneys. We're talking about one man who had his house stolen, and it was over less than $9 in back taxes. He's 83 years old, by the way. His attorneys, they're suing on his behalf and other homeowners, or former homeowners' behalfs, to go after this state law that authorizes this particular process, where not only can they steal the person's home for back taxes, but the state, or the county in this case, county treasurer, gets to keep 100% of the proceeds from that tax sale. So that's where they're suing, and the number that we gave you, 100,000 properties, was since 2002 an estimate for the whole state. But in a couple paragraphs down here at the Reason.com story, it says over the past decade, more than 150,000 properties in Detroit have gone through the tax forfeiture process.
Wow.
So,
150,000 properties. So that's like $300,000 worth. in Detroit.
We'll tell you more about it coming up here, but we actually have Pat on the line. He's in Michigan, Thunder Bay, listening to WZTK FM. Hello, Pat. Hello, Pat. Are you with us? Pat in Michigan, going once. Pat in Michigan, going twice. Tell you what, we'll put you back on hold. Maybe Pat's in a bad cell, or there's some other technical difficulties. We'll have our board op check in with him, and when he's back, we'll bring him back on the air. So again, if you want to comment, you can join us here, 855-450-FREE. There was legislation passed in 1999 that increased the ability of the county treasurers to do this kind of stuff and to keep 100% of the proceeds from these sales. They say the legislation's goals were to, quote, encourage the rapid reuse of property, prevent the onset of blight, and improve the overall use of property, unquote. According to a University of Michigan report about the effects of this act in Wayne County, where Detroit's located, and where the 1999 law has had the most devastating effects on homeowners. Again, more than 150,000 properties in Detroit have gone through the tax forfeiture process, according to data collected by Jerry Poffendorf, the founder of Loveland Technologies, a Detroit-based mapping firm. He says that it's punitive for property owners and profitable for the county. Poffendorf became increasingly interested in this tax foreclosure set of rules after Detroit's 2013 bankruptcy, when his company worked with an anti-blight task force to identify and photograph abandoned properties across the city. At the time, the media was fascinated with Detroit's economic collapse, one of the most memorable signs of which were homes being auctioned for $1,000 or less. As he began tracking the supposedly vacant homes being auctioned by the city, Poffendorf noticed an odd trend. Lots of them weren't actually vacant. Quote, there was sort of an assumption that tax foreclosures were happening to abandoned buildings. You know, properties that people had left, he tells Reason. But that wasn't always the case. We saw thousands of properties that had people living in them being auctioned. And I think that's interesting that there's, and it goes back to what I was saying in the last hour about people's misperceptions about exactly what the state does. They presume, oh, it's a tax sale? Well, you know, somebody died. And so there was no, grandma died, but the family couldn't be reached. And so therefore, something's got to happen with that property. Well, the city takes it and they sell the property. And that's what people think about when they see notices of tax sales. They don't want to think that their neighbors are actually being thrown out of their homes.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a huge number of homeless people in America right now, and every one of them got thrown out of someplace.
I think we actually have Pat with us on the line now. Pat, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, we have you. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Yeah, I guess I face muted myself last time. I must have been collaring my phone.
That's all right. Here you are now. Go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, this happened in the neighboring county here a few years back. This is chicanery before they changed the tax laws here in the state. Because there used to be a 3-year lenience period, but now it's 1.
Wow.
But anyway, what happened in this case was somebody in this man's back 40 was growing some recreational vegetation before
marijuana.
The state, before the state had decided to pull their collective heads out of their pink turtlenecks and legalize the stuff. So anyway, some local kids found some of his plants, or one of his plants at least, or whoever plants they were. I mean, I don't know if that was ever proven or not proven, but that's besides the point. Anyway, the kids took the stuff to school and they got busted, as kids will do. Right?
Jeez. And
So
then they ratted him out.
That gave the local drug enforcement agency precedence to go in and search the land. So then the seizure went down, and they tried to sell his place out from under him.
So just to be clear, this guy had a huge property, right? Like this could have been someone else's plants.
Like 10 acres of cedar swamp out behind a trailer, right?
So anyone could have been growing these plants on this man's property. They didn't necessarily prove that it was his plants, but they went ahead and stole his property anyway.
Well, I think they did, just because of the trail sequence that went from the house to the plants and such. But anyway, the long and the short of it is that the community came behind him.
Really?
And there was a bunch of big old boys in the back of the room, and these people showed up to bid on this stuff, and it's like, this place was bought back for $1.
No kidding.
Yes,
wow.
Sir.
And then
then the neighboring county here, they tried that same bamboozle on me about 10 years later.
Hold on, before you go on with your story, just another question on this guy that his property was bought for $1. Did the person who bought the property for $1 then, like, sell it back to the guy? What happened to it?
Of course he did.
Amazing. Now, I thought they prohibited that from happening. I thought that friends of the individual are prohibited from, and maybe it's different states, different rules, but like if you know or if you're close to the person, you're not allowed to bid on their property or you're not allowed to turn it back over to them or something like that. That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true.
This is Montmorency County. I think probably everybody's related.
So what happened?
If you don't have a road named after you, you ain't nobody.
Well,
I don't have a road name after me.
We need nobody
it's
road
true.
now. That's the thing.
I figured this out about 10 years after I moved up here. If you don't, even if it's just a 2-track, it's only 2 miles long. If you don't have a road named after you, you ain't nobody.
All right. So what happened to your property, Pat?
Well, my kid threw some seeds out behind. Mine's 13 acres.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe 1/8 of a mile deep and, 500-700 yards wide, right?
Okay.
So anyway, there's a pond and there's an old trailer that I brought years and years ago. Anyway, he put some plants out behind it by the pond, and I didn't know they was there. Well, they did this. I'm like, 12 miles spitting distance from the airport here where they do all this drug enforcement and dog training and every other crazy thing that they do. But, the flyover country is hard. And I got hit with a possession charge years ago, so I was on the flyover list.
Yep.
And evidently these bozos come and raided my place. Like 6 o'clock in the morning, I get woke up. And these little poor bastards were, I seen them. They showed me one of the plants. They were scraggly. They were like 18, 20 inches high.
Huh.
And I fought them for almost a year. And suddenly they lost the evidence.
Interesting.
Well, at the time, I didn't know that pot didn't have any THC in it until it had reached kind of the budding sequence.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Until it flowers, it's the buds with the THC.
Yeah, until it starts shooting hairs, at least it doesn't have anything that they can send to the drug lab.
Interesting.
So they were trying to steal. They were trying to steal my land just on BS.
But you won because you fought them and they ended up dropping the charges?
Well, I just held out long enough to where they finally said, okay, fine.
Great story, Pat. Congratulations, and thank you for sharing.
It took me a while to figure out why I won.
Thanks for sharing that with us. I really appreciate it. Great story. More coming up.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies, grass,
pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it.
And the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynavite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic.
Inviting you and your pets to Dynavite.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it.
Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You're invited here if you want to join us. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. Just go to discord.lrn.fm and you can jump into one of those. You'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. In fact, I just noticed someone waiting in one of those rooms as we speak. So we'll get to that person here in moments. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And nobody.
Head on over to local.bitcoin.com and get started buying or selling Bitcoin Cash with dozens of payment methods globally. It is a global trading platform that actually respects your privacy, unlike a lot of the other sites out there that try to do something similar. On local.bitcoin.com, you do not have to provide identification to sign up for and use the site. In fact, there's nowhere that you could provide identification to the site even if you wanted to, because the site's not built like that. They don't have custody of your Bitcoin Cash. You have control over your funds, and you sell or buy through a system that's relatively transparent of smart contracts. You don't need to know what the contracts say. You just need to know that it works. Go to local.bitcoin.com, and I can say it works. I've traded a number of times on the platform, sometimes with folks who are listeners of the show, actually. Local.bitcoin.com. And by the way, also communications between buyers and sellers on the site are encrypted, which is a cool feature too. So we're talking about Michigan, and you know, this happens in other states, but the story in this case is about Michigan because they're apparently one of the worst at stealing properties from folks. Over 100,000 properties have been stolen in the last couple of decades, last 15 years or so. There in Michigan, and it was all justified by a 1999 law called Act 123 that basically shortened the time frame on stealing properties, so what they call tax sailing in legal parlance, stealing somebody's home from them, and also made it so the county treasurers could keep 100% of the proceeds from said tax sale. So, according to the story at Reason, it was happening because of the accelerated process created by this Act 123, which harshly punished any Michigander for falling behind on property tax payments. Prior to 1999, the average time between a property falling into tax delinquency and foreclosure was 5 to 7 years. After Act 123, they reduced that timeline to a little over 2 years.
Wow.
The accelerated foreclosure process caught many homeowners who fell behind on their taxes during the Great Recession. In Michigan, property taxes are due twice per year. Bills are sent in July and December, with payments due in April and November. If there are outstanding debts from the previous year, delinquent properties are turned over to the county in the following year in March. The county buys the debt from the municipalities. The funding comes from the county's Delinquent Tax Revolving Fund, or the DTRF, and the county effectively becomes the debt collector for the unpaid taxes. Under state law, counties are allowed to impose a one-time 4% administrative fee to each delinquent property and may charge 1% interest for every month the tax remains unpaid. If the property owner still owes back taxes by March 31st of the third year of delinquency, that is 2 years and 31 days after the county took over the collections process, the county can foreclose and take the property to auction. After it's auctioned, the county keeps the proceeds and recycles the revenue through the same fund used to buy the debt from the municipalities in the first place. So they're taking the money that they're getting from the people who are buying these houses and using that money to buy the properties from the municipalities in order to sell more of them and get more money to buy more properties and sell more of them.
Yeah, they're operating it as a little business.
That's right.
Within the state government.
And that is how, and there's another provision. If the county ends up with a positive balance in their fund, the excess funds can be channeled into the county budget. And that's how Wayne County has funneled more than $382 million in delinquent tax surpluses into its general fund budget since 2012, according to an analysis by Bridge Magazine.
Wow.
In Oakland County, where the initial property that we discussed was seized and sold in 2014, the process has been lucrative there too. According to the county's most recent comprehensive annual financial report, its DTRF had $196.8 million in net assets. Incredible. The same document details plans to use the DTRF for a number of pet projects, including the construction of a new animal shelter and adoption center. So at least the dogs get to stay out of the cold. Their families are kicked out, but,
Screw the people.
The county also, quote, anticipates the continuation of annual transfers from the DTRF to support general fund, general purpose operations in the amount of $3 million annually for fiscal year 2019 through 2023, totals that are in line with historical norms, according to the annual report. That's hundreds of millions of dollars in private equity that have been transferred to the two counties' control completely legally under the terms of Act 123, and destroying countless lives in the process. Let's go to OK Statist. He's on the line with us here on Discord. You're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, so people are living in these houses and they think they own them, but I hope something like this shows people what the true nature of property is. That, of course, we have property as our ownership of something at the behest of the state. But what I wanted to call about was about property rights in general. That's obviously a really big deal to libertarians, really central to libertarian ideas, especially if you're like a natural rights libertarian and stuff. I mean,
sure.
It's what's wrong. It's one of the main things that's wrong with the current societal setup that we have now. And then I look at someone like Murray Rothbard.
Now, are you saying that the presence of property rights are something that's wrong, or the disrespect of property rights are something that's wrong?
Well, the thing that's currently called property now, this setup that we have,
it's a lie.
There certainly exists something that people call property. Yeah, so someone like Murray Rothbard was very big on property ethics, and he said, he identified two illegitimate forms of property, feudal property rights, which ultimately the government system does represent like really primitive, feudal system, more like land aggrandizement and aggrandizing, like land accumulating property rights, where the state assigns property to large landholders. And the point is, it's a rigged system and it's stacked against the little guy. And the thing is, people say we need to get our property rights, or we need to defend property rights. But if you go all the way back to Locke, where it's this, where Rothbard came from with, the transformer of the land, the one that makes the land with the labor, or the labor with the land, has the rights to the property. We never really achieved that. We maybe brushed up against it here and there, but we've never achieved that. It's a truly radical proposition, and so are other conceptualizations, because they're certainly not the end all of property rights. We've never really had that, so we can't defend it or go back to it, because it's a thing that hasn't existed for us.
Yeah, and it's the Lockean Proviso is very important. The idea that there should always be some land left for others to homestead.
We can talk more about it coming up here in moments. The idea of property, because it's an important one, and right now it seems like an illusion. 855-450-FREE is our number. 855-450-3733 can take control of the airwaves on Free Talk Live.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad, and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years. With experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict, or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. We invite you to join us here if you want. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We do have the Discord call-in line rooms. We're going back to that here to continue the conversation about property rights, the idea of property, and that's been completely debased in this society with governments all across the United States, but focusing on Michigan tonight, stealing people's homes from them. Over 150,000 properties in Detroit alone, apparently, in the last decade. Over 100,000 properties statewide in Michigan have been stolen, according to the story at Reason.com. As we continue with you here tonight, by the way, it's me, Ian.
And nobody.
Also, if you care about or you're interested in accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin at your point of sale, at your business, then you need to get over to helpmetakebitcoin.com. The folks at AnyPay make it super easy to take cryptocurrency payments like Bitcoin Dash and Bitcoin Cash at your point of sale. Or maybe you're somebody who's a service provider. You go to your customers' homes. You provide, your plumber or something like that, and you want to be able to collect cryptocurrency on the spot. You can do that with helpmetakebitcoin.com as well. So whether it's a retail establishment or a service provider, they can help you over at helpmetakebitcoin.com, and they will not charge you to do it. And it's super easy to sign up. You don't have to show ID. There's no paperwork. It could not be much easier than it is. You download the app and you just get started. helpmetakebitcoin.com. As we go back to OK Statist is on the line. Was talking, OK Statist, you'd called in to talk about just sort of the idea of property and how it really is just a sick joke in the United States. And you were kind of getting a little deeper into just the idea of property. And nobody, just before we went to the break, you brought up this Lockean Proviso. Can you get a little more detailed on that?
I sure can. And this is a quote from John Locke's Second Treatise of Government, Chapter 5, Paragraph 33. And it says, "Nor was this appropriation of any parcel of land, by improving it, any prejudice to any other man, since there is still as enough and as good left, and more than the yet unprovided could use." So that, in effect, there is never less left for others because of his enclosure for himself. For that he leaves as much as another can make use of. For he that leaves as much as another can make use of does as good as take nothing at all. Nobody could think himself injured by the drinking of another man, though he took a good draught, who had a whole river of the same water left to him to quench his thirst. Mm-hmm. And in the case of land and water, where there is enough of both, is perfectly the same. So the idea here is Locke believes that the whole of the earth is the birthright of all of mankind. But all of mankind cannot exploit a particular property or make use of a particular property at the same time. So he allows for, in his moral philosophy, for homesteading by mixing your labor with the land. So when you go to a piece of land that's never been used and you build yourself a farmhouse and set up some fields,
till the
you've
land.
mixed your labor with the land, and now it's not just land, it's a farm.
Right.
And because the farm was the product of your labor, the farm belongs to you.
That's not the same thing as just going and building a fence around a large swath of land and saying, I mixed labor with the land, so therefore...
He's not that specific. He talks on a a conceptual level. So one assumes that there would have to be traditions that govern that.
Right.
But, the problem with it is that now any land which is not claimed by somebody ends up owned by the government.
That's right.
So if you turn up homeless, you can't go find an unowned piece of land and pitch your tent and build a cabin or whatever.
Now, that's not to say there isn't plenty of land that could be available. If the government disappeared tomorrow, if the federal government dissolved, then there would be a tremendous amount of available land, especially west of the Mississippi, where they have something like, 2/3 or something of the entire portion of the United States. That's a tremendous amount of property that is basically completely unused when it's in the government's hands, and that could be something that could be turned over to homesteading if we had our libertarian druthers, so to speak.
Yeah, and this is what gives me some level of sympathy with the Georgist and mutualist positions, because in both cases, this idea of land monopoly is a large part, I think, of what what motivates their thinking. So the Georgists basically say, well, if there isn't land available to homestead, then because it's already been taken, then we can have a land value tax. And so you get like a payment because all of the land has already been homesteaded.
If they had their way, that's the way it
would be. If they had their way, that's within their philosophy. That's the idea of it.
Okay, Statist is still with us. Here are your comments.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to. You said the proviso. The proviso is very important because you don't get to a situation where all land is claimed and very scarce and held to a point where it's landlordism, where you end up with large scale, tenancy and various things that we actually do see under the state. That's how you kind of avoid that. But what we have to realize is that this is a radical proposition. I mean, a labor-based. I mean, it's just as radical as any kind of socialist, anarchist, like a mutualist position. You are the one mixing your own labor with the land. That's not what we have. In history, we've had land has been claimed mostly by conquest, by bloodshed, including the United States and every other continent.
Sure.
And that's how the chain of possession of lands up until now, not just the empty lands that are currently empty. Most of the good land is probably occupied by now. But
Pennsylvania, for example, was gifted by the king to one guy.
Really?
William Penn. That's why it's called Pennsylvania.
Right,
Go ahead.
Of course it is.
Yeah, exactly. And so you have to look, we got into this situation through, centuries or really millennia of just conquest and coercion, violent coercion and injustice. And that's why people are so critical of land. But I think it's really, property in those concepts, because it's been used and continues to be used up until, we have libertarian and socialist philosophers trying to question this. It's been used to hurt people, to keep people down, to keep people enslaved. Right. And it's a absolutely radical proposition as any other for the anarcho-capitalist or the Lockean to say that, like, for example, a Rothbardian to say, like, property has to be based on just acquisition of it, because none of it's really just at this point.
Yeah, and so we shouldn't be surprised when the history of violence that sort of established the current property system is continuing, where they're using violence to throw people from their homes and literally steal homes from people, hundreds of thousands of them in Michigan. We're still there. We haven't gotten away from, not using violence. They've just covered it up. They papered over it. They expect people to believe in the system, as we were talking about before, and they do. For the most part, people are unaware of what's happening to these folks in Michigan. Obviously, the people who it's happened to are aware of it, and the more people it happens to, then maybe that we'll get some awareness of this. But there aren't enough people who are proposing really any real serious changes like you are. Okay, Status, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate that discussion. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Talking about moving from a system of violence-based property rights to what he was talking about, I think is a good discussion to have.
Yeah, I think it really is. We can't have a society in which a significant proportion of the people are homeless and destitute. That's just, who wants to live in that kind of a situation?
The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part, Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Join me, George Norrie, at the Health Freedom Expo October 25th and 26th in Tinley Park near Chicago. The Health Freedom Expo is an incredible weekend exploring the latest in natural and alternative medicine with more than 100 lectures, workshops, and exhibits. Meet leading experts including Patch Adams, Lisa Oz, Ocean Robbins, Doc Wallach, Erin Elizabeth, and so many more. Plus, I'll host a luncheon and discussion on natural healing breakthroughs. The Health Freedom Expo can help you learn to achieve a naturally vibrant and healthy life. Join us to explore how you can take your wellness into your own hands and meet others who are doing the same thing. Get your tickets today at TrinityHealthFreedomExpo.com. That's TrinityHealthFreedomExpo.com or call 1-888-658-3976. That's 1-888-658-3976. TrinityHealthExpo.com or 1-888-658-3976.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk live Saturday edition of the show. Open phones as always. You don't have to talk about the government gang in Michigan stealing hundreds of thousands of people's homes, apparently, or at least over 100,000. They say over 150,000 in just Detroit alone in the last decade. So that's a lot of people that have had their lives upended over some back property taxes. You can join us here. Again, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. It's Ian and nobody in the studio tonight, and good nutrition is key to looking and feeling great. But eating right all the time can be a challenge, and travel and work can certainly get in the way, or maybe you just don't have the desire or the time to shop and cook the right foods. Balance of Nature can help you with 3 of their Balance of Nature fruit capsules and their 3 of their veggie capsules. You can get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that is a lot of nutrition. You can go online and become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. And then after your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. So get on over to balanceofnature.com. Use code FTL to get started there. That's balanceofnature.com with code FTL, like Free Talk Live. We've been sharing with you a really well-written, detailed story from Reason.com. Of course, talking about the various different things that it's bringing up here over in Michigan, where they're reporting on this law that was passed in 1999 to expedite the process of stealing property from people, which the state gang calls tax sales. And this, by the way, happens in every state in the United States, but in Michigan it's particularly egregious because they can keep the full revenue that they pull in from the tax sale. And so their incentives are even more just terrifying than they normally would be. Normally they steal properties and they sell the property, and then they give the previous owner any overage above whatever the amount that was supposedly owed to the city or the town. Mm-hmm. But in Michigan, they just take it all. And so we're going to your calls here, more of you. Let's talk to Fred. He's in Michigan, listening in Hillman, Michigan. Fred, you're on Free Talk Live.
Can you all hear me?
We got you, Fred. Go ahead.
Hey, well, I've seen so many of these things, and people, when they get crippled and old and poor, it seems it's a crime to be poor in America.
Yeah, well, it's a heck of a lot harder to deal with a situation like this if you don't have a bunch of money to, let's say, hire an attorney. Or do whatever kind of legal research that you need to do to figure out what to do next.
I've been through that with myself, my children. If you surrender yourself to what they call attorneys,
mm-hmm.
you might as well just put your head in the well.
Well, I mean, most of them are, pretty undesirable, but there are some out there that, are okay, that, you can...
Yeah, well, if you find a young one that's hungry, maybe you got a chance. Or if you impress them because of something, but you ain't going to get a fair shake.
Well, they're not going to give you a fair shake any way it goes. I mean, they're stealing your house from you in the case that we're talking about here. But the system in general, I mean, to your point, and Fred, thank you for the call tonight. To your point, if you're poor, the system is not helping you, right? It's not designed to help you. The people who are connected to the halls of power are the rich, the wealthy that are out there. And the funny thing is, they're the people that are in power, or the people that are seeking power, like some of these presidential candidates, want you to believe that they're going to somehow help the poor. And that this is the same pitch that they make every 2 to 4 years, is that, well, if you elect me, then I'm going to help the poor people. Well, exactly what are you going to do differently? How are you going to not reward your wealthy, connected friends and punish your enemies like every other politician does with the positions that they're given?
Yeah, and the criminalization of poverty is all over the place. It's like if you don't have much money, just driving a car to work is a challenge. Yep. You have to keep up not only with repairing it. I mean, obviously you have to keep up with with nature. You have to keep the thing running, but then there's a whole series of artificial things that you have to do. You have to pay the state for this, pay the state for
Make sure
that.
you get your sticker.
State's going to hit you with with traffic tickets.
Sure.
Then they're going to suspend your license. Then you're going to end up in jail for that. So your car gets impounded, and all of these things for marginal people can add up to the difference between making it and not making it.
Absolutely. When I was in jail for civil disobedience, there was a guy in there who was there for a year because he drove to work.
Yeah.
He was a manager at a Bickford's, which is kind of like a Denny's or, breakfasty kind of lunch place chain in New England. He was a manager, productive member of society, going to work. Wasn't drunk, just driving to work. But what happened was, in the 90s, he had gotten a ticket for some nonsense in Massachusetts. For whatever reason, he didn't pay the ticket. Maybe he forgot about it or thought it was paid or whatever. He didn't take care of the ticket. And so that got him whatever suspension it was that it got him. And then that got him pulled over. And because he'd had, I guess, other motor vehicle issues previously on his record, he got a minimum sentence of a year in jail.
Yeah, so that... did they hit him with driving after habitual?
Yeah, it was habitual. Yep.
Yeah, that's a...
it's crazy.
It's bizarre in New Hampshire, and people have literally been put in prison for that. And, it occurs to me that that's another case where I need to think about the pardon pen. Because there are people who are felons, I believe, in New Hampshire for driving a car.
If they're not felons, they've certainly gone to prison on a 2-year sentence. I don't know if that's
well, that's
felony,
the thing. If it's a 2-year sentence, doesn't it have to be a felony, or are there 2-year misdemeanors in New Hampshire? I don't know.
What if you're sentenced to 2 single-year misdemeanor convictions consecutive?
Yeah, of course, that is possible.
I think you can end up in prison without being a felon. I think you can end up in prison without being a felon.
Wow.
If the sentences, are stacked up like that.
Sure.
And so, that's not uncommon for people to just have their lives completely upended over some paperwork snafu, over some piddly, speeding ticket that didn't get paid or whatever. You just recently got your license suspended. That was a year ago, but you recently had a trial over that, nobody, and you didn't even know. They sent you notice of the suspension to your address, which you had not been at for some amount of time. It was still your address, so you could still receive mail there, but you weren't physically at the address to receive the mail. Well, they didn't care when they pulled you over and arrested you for so-called driving while license suspended.
Yeah, and so it's going to be interesting to see how that case turns out, because the mental state in New Hampshire is knowingly for
that crime.
Driving on suspended license or driving on suspended registration. So technically, I should beat that charge, which would be nice, because I've got a pretty long undefeated string that I'm
Don't get cocky,
racking up here.
Don't get cocky.
Nobody's getting cocky, but
let's go to Joanne. She's in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, listening to WEEO FM. Hello, Joanne.
Hi.
Hey there.
The former caller called about the impeachment, and I know in Pennsylvania we're really for Trump. So
are you now?
Yep, big time.
Okay.
So the whistleblower, I can give you the name.
I don't know anything about that, but okay.
Well, go ahead, because Facebook is censoring that, so we won't.
Okay, it's Eric, E-R-I-C, and I'm not sure how to spell Sharamella.
Okay.
Sharmella, something like that.
And what did he blow the whistle on exactly?
This is the Ukraine call.
Okay, but let me tell you how I see it.
Okay.
I heard this on the radio the other day. This whistleblower has ties with Biden. He traveled with Clinton, Hillary, Schumer, and Elizabeth Warren. He was listed on Schiff's website, and then they mistakenly left it on. That's how some people were getting it. And then they took it off. He was also hired by CBS Network. He was let go when Schiff wanted him to be his whistleblower. Now, the whistleblower's attorney is Mark Zed, Z-E-D, who's also Sally Yates' attorney.
Yeah, all this means nothing to me. I got to be honest with you. I don't know who all these names are that you're throwing out there.
They're all political stuff that has happened in the last 3 years in Washington.
Yeah, to me, like, this is completely irrelevant, what happens with this whistleblower situation. And, you know, a lot of people thank you for the call, a lot of people get distracted by all this political stuff going on in Washington, D.C., when the reality is humans are having their homes stolen from them at the lower levels of government. They're having their lives ruined by these government gangs in the local governments and state governments, but yet people are arguing about, you know, what happens to Donald Trump. It's really immaterial to me. We're coming up. This is Free Talk Live. Hour 3 is next. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
Do you want to join the ultra-wealthy by using a 160-year-old investing program that is no longer exclusive? Keep your funds fluid and 100% tax-free for you or your heirs with no contribution limits and without ever losing your principal with Fortune DNA. Learn how to avoid the volatility of the market and put certainty back into your investing future. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,462, silver at $16.85, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,777. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, Mexican media and public figures are increasingly growing nervous about the possibility that continued drug cartel violence in the country could lead their northern neighbors in Washington to act rashly by declaring the powerful criminal groups to be terrorist organizations, resulting in a U.S. military intervention on Mexican soil. The speculation comes after 9 U.S. citizens from a Mormon sect were slaughtered this week by a drug cartel. Also on Thursday, Mexican daily Sin Embargo published a story detailing how U.S. lawmakers and top media outlets are pushing for the U.S. government to declare the cartels to be terrorists. Such a move could clear the path to unilateral actions by the Pentagon, handing the mantle of a war on drugs to the U.S. Armed Forces, after Mexico's president has repeatedly made clear he is in favor of pursuing a socioeconomic solution to the huge problem of crime in the country, or, as he puts it, hugs and not bullets. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The Epstein didn't kill himself meme has reached an entirely new, unprecedented level, as it has officially crossed the line from internet meme into physical reality via the underside of a beer can. The Mind Unleashed reports that Tactical Ops Brewing in Fresno, California, is printing the message Epstein didn't kill himself on the bottom of beer cans. That's according to local Fox affiliate KMPH. Carlos Taver, manager of Tactical Ops, said that the idea for printing the message on the brewery's cans first came to him around a week ago because the Jeffrey Epstein meme is, quote, a big thing right now, end quote. Only about 54 packs of cans of Basher Oatmeal Stout with the special messages printed on the bottom will be released by the brewery. A ticket writing scheme in Collegedale, Tennessee, has led multiple police officers to claim they were fired for attempting to call out the illegal orders handed down to them to make arrests and write tickets. Former Collegedale police officers Robert Beadle, Colby Duckett, and David Schilling have all filed lawsuits against the city and its officials for wrongful termination after speaking out against what they refer to as an illegal quota system. Now this month, the last officer left on the force finally resigned. The Free Thought Project reports that on Friday, Ridgetop Police Chief Brian Morris submitted his resignation, and the town is now without a police force. In September, Duckett and Schilling came forward with the same allegations as Beadle. All three officers were fired without reason when they claimed to be exposing the illegal quota system. Janie Parks Varnell, the attorney representing all three cops, argued the firings were just another example of the city of Collegedale, Chief Brian Hickman, and city manager Ted Rogers terminating skilled officers simply because they brought attention to the illegal quota system implemented by the department. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
NASA's recent discovery of water on Mercury has led to speculation among scientists that the planet could potentially sustain an intergalactic space prison housing the universe's worst criminals. Scientists believe that organic compounds found on the planet's surface could be useful for creating an off-world space Australia, where strength is the only law. However, they caution it is too early to say whether or not fights among the space jail's prisoners would be broadcast here on Earth for the entertainment of wealthy gamblers. But NASA's lead researchers do say that Mercury's ability to support human life raises important questions about who the prison guards would be.
Perhaps the guards themselves would be space mercenaries, or maybe we'd just use robots.
The robots would have guns for hands.
Well, obviously.
Critics inside NASA caution against funneling too many resources into the Mercury project when it would be so much cooler to build a prison on the moon ruled by clones of the prisoners themselves. Researchers encourage the public to read their findings, which have been released in the form of a graphic novel titled The Mercury Cipher.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of this live Saturday edition of the show. You, as always, are able to join us on the toll-free lines, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms at discord.lrn.fm. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And nobody.
And we've been actually on the same topic pretty much for the whole show, which is unusual for Free Talk Live. Usually we're kind of all over the place. But every now and then there's a big issue that needs to get discussed in detail. And kudos to the folks over at Reason.com for doing a really good, detailed, interesting, and shocking and awful story. Eric Boehm, the writer there, about a man who was $8.41 behind on property taxes in the county in Michigan that he lived in, just went ahead and stole his house from him, sold it at a tax sale, and then kept all of the proceeds from that sale.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine the reaction of the politicians if, like, a bank or a mortgage company pulled a similar maneuver.
Yeah,
how would they would be having a congressional investigations of it,
right?
But I guess when Congress investigates themselves, they always find they did nothing wrong. Isn't that funny?
When they do it, yeah, it's totally fine. I don't know if you were expecting anybody like a food delivery or something, but I heard somebody at the door, so you might want to take a look at that. We're going to continue. We'll also take your calls and thoughts. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. So there's actually more to this story because there's a heck of a lot of people who have been just, had their lives ruined by this. And the story goes into a little bit more detail over at Reason.com, writing that it's simply government-sanctioned theft, says private attorney Philip Ellison. Ellison's been involved in a series of class action lawsuits targeting 9 Michigan counties' use of home equity forfeiture over the past 6 years, during which time he calculates counties in Michigan have pocketed more than $36 million in surplus equity seized from tax-delinquent properties. Ellison represents people like Donald Freed, resident of Alma, Michigan, who had his home and 35 acres of land seized by Gratiot County, Michigan, over a $750 tax debt. The property was auctioned for more than $100,000, and of course, the county kept the change. The same thing happened to Romualdo and Erica Perez, a father-daughter duo who bought a 4-unit apartment building and an adjacent abandoned single-family home in Detroit in 2012. Even though they were living in New Jersey at the time, the man would drive 11 hours to Detroit on weekends to fix up the properties in the hopes of eventually relocating there to be closer to his relatives. He and his daughter planned to live in the house and earn a living by renting the small apartment building. Makes sense. Sounds like a good plan.
Good plan.
But there, of course, was the issue of the government getting in the way. Quote, every bit of money we saved and every spare minute we had went to fixing the house, she said. The plumbing, electricity, everything. And a lot of these homes in Detroit were in really miserable shape. I mean, $1 was too much in a lot of cases for these things because they'd been completely stripped of, like all the copper piping and just, everything of any kind of value had just been, in a lot of these cases, stolen by looters and things like that from these homes. And they're just literally were selling shells of houses for a few bucks a piece.
But even an empty piece of land is something.
Yeah, it's a starting point for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so the first year they owned the property, they underpaid their property taxes by $144. County tax records show they made full payments on time every subsequent year. But Wayne County never informed them of the unpaid debt, they say, because the notices were sent to the wrong address. Sound familiar?
Oh, and whose mistake was this?
The county should have known the correct addresses for the notices because more recent property tax payments indicated the proper address, said Martin. In 2017, the county foreclosed on their property and sold it for $108,000 and kept the excess equity beyond the $359 that was owed in back taxes, fees, and interest. Amazing.
Wow.
So they too are suing the state with the assistance of the Pacific Legal Foundation in a case that's separate from the other guy that we talked about earlier when we started the story, the 83-year-old man who had the same thing happen to him or something similar. So yeah.
Well, best of luck to them. I hope they beat the monster.
Let's go to David. He's in New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, those Indians didn't pay their taxes either. Oh, hey, yeah, you're on KENN, Four Corners.
That's right.
Heart
Great
of
station.
Indian Territory, heart of the Navajo Nation.
Mm-hmm. What were you calling about?
Well, the way that the radio works, it's fun and interesting. I did that for a reason. I wanted the Indians' attention because they're here in New Mexico in big numbers, and I'm having a problem with the University of New Mexico, the KUNM radio station, and the Indian program Singing Wire is broadcast on KUNM.
Yep.
And so I made a special point of saying these things so that the Indians here in New Mexico would perk their ears up and hear some things. And,
okay. Is there something new about this? Because you've called about this probably 10 times in a row.
Yes, there is, but you don't have any patience.
Oh, yeah, I do. I just want to get to the point.
The point, well, there are many points.
Pick one.
One of the points is that, well, hey, your radio program works. So I talk to the people that I want to hear, and it apparently works. Your program is being heard, Ian. Congratulations.
Well, good.
Because after I do that, then Indians here in New Mexico have been looking at my Facebook page and liking this and sharing that and things like that. So I just wanted you to know that your program is working.
I'm glad to hear that.
You're being heard. You're being heard in the Navajo Nation and the rest of the tribes that hear KENN out of Farmington. You probably got some Southern Utes. You got some Apaches. You got Pueblos. You got a lot of Indians listening to you.
Did you say Utes?
Hello?
That's what he said, yeah.
yeah, youths, like euthanasia.
Gotcha.
These are youths in America. Youth in America. So why don't you say hello to them, Ian, since you're being heard out there?
Well, you already did, but hello to all of our listeners. We're grateful for everybody tuning in.
Why don't you interact with your listeners?
I don't do shout-outs. We interact with our listeners by opening the phones and letting them call in. That's how we interact with listeners.
Well, you know what? They're not going to call. Those listeners are not going to call in. Do you know why they're not going to call in?
Why?
Because they generally speaking, there are exceptions. They don't generally want to interact with white people, basically.
Okay. How do they know I'm white?
Did you just assume my ethnicity?
No. Well, we don't even need to go there.
Are you saying that? Are you saying that I would sound Indian if I, or that I would sound differently if I weren't white?
Yeah, yes, you would. An Indian knows in a second you're not Indian. And the reason we're talking about this is because I was trying to tell you. You said that you wanted them to call in yourself, and I'm telling you, unless you reach out, they're not going to call in and talk to you because it's part of the culture. They don't really want anything to do with you until they feel
fine.
I don't really
care. If somebody doesn't call, that's their problem. It's fine. It's not an issue. It's not even a problem. It's just if you're a listener to the radio, you're not expected to call the show. 99.9% of people that listen to this show are never going to call because they're listeners. They want to hear what's going on. They want to be entertained. Hopefully, between when they get up for work and drive to work or drive home from work to the house or go into the store or listening at home because they, don't want to do something else or whatever their reasons for listening are, it's usually because they want to be entertained during whatever it is they're doing.
But if you want to call, we'd love to hear from you.
Yep. Open phones every night. Thank you for the call, David. Appreciate that. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, and it's actually really easy to get on the air on this particular nationally syndicated radio show. Like, I'll tell you this, right now, we have no callers on the line after David's call, because David's always last in line, because he's what you call a chronic caller in the business. So if you ever hear David getting on the air, it usually means there's nobody else. Although when I say that, I mean on our phone lines, we actually did get Gene the Christian Anarchist on our AMP-only Discord line during that call, so we're going to go to him coming up.
Groovy.
And you can share your thoughts with us here. 855-450-FREE like freedom. And that's one of the rules you're not supposed to do in talk radio is you're not supposed to reveal you don't have callers. Well, hey, that's the reality. It's Free Talk Live. More coming up.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarists, thinkers, and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You bring up what you want. Take control of the airwaves here. Our number, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, Ian.
And nobody from electnobody.com.
That's right. And February 13th through the 16th, you ought to get down, if you love freedom, to Acapulco, Mexico, where Anarchapulco is going to be happening, the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers. And you know it's the most, one of the best conferences on the planet because Ron Paul is going to be the keynote speaker, not for the first time, but for the third time. They keep bringing him back because, well, if you can have Ron Paul speak at your event 3 years in a row.
Why would you get anybody else?
Well, yeah. Well, they do have a bunch of other people, including John McAfee, who will be there, Sherry Peel Jackson, Doug Casey.
I want to party with him.
Who, Doug Casey?
McAfee.
Oh, McAfee.
McAfee.
Yeah.
Matt Guano Loco.
He is a lot of fun. There's no doubt about it. And Freeway Rick Ross and a bunch of other names, which I'm not going to go through because it would take too long. Anarchapulco.com. Go there, get registered for the event. Use promo code FTL to get 10% off. It's February 13th through the 16th. I was looking at tickets today. It's not that pricey to get down to Acapulco.
How much is it?
I think it was like $400-$500 round trip.
Wow.
From Boston. I mean, if you think about it, for an international trip, that's not too shabby. So head on down to anarchapulco.com, promo code FTL. Let's go to the phones. To the fun. Joseph is on the line in Aberdeen, Washington, listening to KBKW. Hello, Joseph.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, good.
Hey, I've just been listening to you guys talk about this property rights and stuff, and it's so funny. Has anybody brought up allodial title or silver certificates having to do with land ownership?
We haven't talked about allodial title yet tonight, but it certainly has been talked about previously. Can you define that for our listeners who have not heard the term?
Well, it'll be rudimentary, but basically it says that, back in the great land grab, you would get this title that was totally different than what we have now. And I think it's been all changed because of that 1913 amendment that went in for the IRS to get taxes wherever. There's a conjoining factor there in why allodial title or silver certificate is not observed anymore. In fact, there have been people up here in this neck of the woods who have tried to fight it, and counties have had their prosecuting attorneys, basically going against it, saying, no, that's not true, can't happen, da-da-da-da.
Yeah, as I understood the allodial title thing, and there may be somebody listening who knows more about it, it was basically the title issued by the king, the true kind of, at least for its time, the indicator that you actually owned this property, that it wasn't, that there was nobody else that had claim on the title or on that land above you. And it sort of it was kind of like almost like a sovereign title in a lot of ways.
Now that sounds similar to what a lord would have had during feudal days, where literally his title was his title. So, Lord Northumberland was the guy who owned the county of Northumberland.
Right. The Count owned
although they
county.
didn't use count in that in England, but same sort of idea.
Right.
Count and county are rooted in the same language.
And so there are people, like you said, Joseph, who have been seeking this sort of almost mythological allodial title on the belief that there's still some sort of way, by filing the right paperwork or saying the right words in front of the right government judge or something like that, that they'll somehow be able to unearth this thing and
you just have to bury the philosopher's stone on the on the property, but then you have to go find that.
But it hasn't really happened where anybody's really been able to prove that they have allodial title or acquire the allodial title. At least not that I've seen. Have you?
Well, they did have the land grab here in the early West, and where the government wanted to get people onto these pieces of property, and they didn't have to pay taxes like we do. There weren't all these extra amenities like schools and public employees and stuff like that went on. And so they had races, sort of like in the movie Far and Away, where Tom Cruise went out to grab a piece of property. That was free from the federal government, and we've lost it today because basically everybody just wants to have their latte in the morning, go to work, have a beer at night, watch TV, and these details that you're talking about don't make a difference. And it'd be okay if it didn't make a difference for them, but the more people who don't understand what we've forgotten,
the worse off everybody is. There's no doubt. Joseph, thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Let's go to Jerry in Myrtle Beach, listening to WRNN. Hello, Jerry.
Hello there.
Hey.
How are you tonight?
Good, you're on the air.
Okay, yeah. I've done some research on this property tax deal, and I'm 71 years old, and back whenever I was younger, and, became a property owner just to see what I was up against. And, well, you pretty much got to pay it. And there's no way out of it. You might be looking at maybe a land patent, something like that. But I did learn back then too, because I was young, didn't care much. I just didn't pay my property tax. But they came and measured the property and everything, going to take it back. But I did learn that whether they send you a bill or not, you must find them and check and see what you owe. I know you said something previously about somebody.
Right, because the folks in Detroit that we were talking about didn't receive the notices sent by the town or the city of Detroit or whatever. And
that's no reason for not paying their taxes.
Well, there's plenty of reasons to not pay taxes.
South Carolina law, that's no reason. If you don't get a bill, you're supposed to seek them out and say, "Hey, where's my bill?" Yeah.
That is a way to avoid having the criminal gang come and steal the property from you. But yeah, I mean, what you're pointing out here is that they are going to take from you. They will take your blood. They will take your life. They will take your property. They'll take everything they can get away with taking from you, as long as they can keep you alive. Ideally, they want to keep you alive so they can continue to take from you. But if they need to kill you to make a point to the other, peons, they certainly will.
Well, it's always.
Well, you're absolutely right. Yeah, another thing too. Who was it said that you cannot have a free state without property ownership?
I don't know, but they're right. I mean, you obviously can have freedom without the ability to have property.
One of the founding fathers said that. I mean, if you have to pay to stay on your land, you don't ever get it paid for.
That's right. You're just a glorified renter in that case. And thank you, Jerry, for your call tonight. You were trying to say something there, nobody?
Yeah, well, it's basically serfdom.
Yes.
You're renting land from somebody else for the rest of your life, and there's no way to get out from under it.
As Piano says in our chat room on the Discord server, he says, property tax is a license granted to occupy a piece of land for a year. You can sell your license like you can sell a liquor or a taxi license. So $8.55, $4.50 free, and that ain't freedom, folks. Not even close. It's just an illusion. It's Free Talk Live.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years. With experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You are invited to join us here if you want. You can take control of the airwaves at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And nobody.
And I want to say thank you to Jay, who is a Free Talk Live Silver Amplifier. And that means that Jay is contributing $5 a month to the Free Talk Live AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And the idea is a simple one, and that is that it takes money to market a show in the radio business. You know, we got to buy advertising. We got to reach out to radio station program directors and introduce them to Free Talk Live. And so having a little bit of money to be able to do that helps, and that's the point of the AMP program. So go to amp.freetalklive.com like Jay did, and you can help us do those things. And you can get some cool perks like access to the AMP discussion groups, or rather rooms, on our Discord server. There's also an AMP-only Facebook group for those of you still spending time on Facebook. So there's some perks, and that's just a couple of them. There's more than that. You can go to amp.freetalklive.com to learn more about it. That's ampamp.freetalklive.com. PayPal, credit card, and Bitcoin BTC. We'll take all of those for the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com. Back to your phone calls and thoughts. We have Gene, the Christian anarchist. He's on the line on our Discord server. Go ahead, Gene.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Just back from traveling to Macau and Hong Kong, and I wanted to talk about the Million Mask March in Hong Kong. But first, a quick little question for you. Is there a way that you can put the LRN bot in the call-in rooms and have the bot disappear when the LRN studio comes on so that we can hear the show?
Boy, I don't know. That sounds like something that a bot programmer would have to figure out how to do. I'm not saying it's impossible. It may very well be possible.
If you have the source to the bot, I'll look at it.
You'd have to contact Wes, who is the person who wrote this particular bot. He's one of our chatters. You know him, actually.
Oh, sure.
Nobody. So, yeah.
I'll
I don't
try
know.
him on Discord.
Yeah, the answer is I don't know, Gene. That's a good question.
Okay. Anyway, about the November 5th Million Mask March in Hong Kong, I did try to find them. I spent like 4 hours walking around the
What was it
Admiralty
supposed
area.
to be? Just to be clear, I know there's been protests in Hong Kong over Chinese government gang trying to take greater control over the country, if you want to call it a country or whatever, the protectorate or whatever it is. But what's been happening? I mean, what's this mask march supposed to be doing?
That's correct. They were doing all of those, and every Saturday or every weekend, they pretty much are protesting against the Chinese government. But on November 5th, they were going to be doing the Million Mask March along with the rest of the world. And that was primarily focusing on Assange.
Oh,
but
really?
I think in Hong Kong, it kind of reverted back to their same issues, which was, fighting against the communist Chinese. I didn't get, like I say, I walked around there for 4 hours trying to find it, and they changed the location, so I didn't get to actually participate or see it. But I did talk to one kid who was playing a guitar on one of the walkways going over the highways, and he was, had a banner there for the Freedom March people, and a little, how guitar players have a little place for you to put some money. So I put some money in there, and I talked to him for a bit, and I get the idea. I mean, I know what these guys are wanting. They're wanting liberty. They think they want democracy, but of course they really don't want democracy. If you were to
Do you mean, just to be clear,
difference.
the people in Hong Kong who are protesters, or the Million Mask Marcher folks?
The protesters in Hong Kong.
Okay.
Because, the thing for Assange really didn't pan out. I wish it had. Assange is going to be killed by the government.
Yeah, there's a headline we didn't get to here tonight, but WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange's father fears his son will die in prison. That's what the New York Post is reporting.
Yeah, and I think that was the goal all along, and I think they're going to succeed. And I'm afraid that the communist Chinese are going to succeed in Hong Kong as well. I talked to this kid. They all have their heart in the right place. They want liberty. That's what they're fighting for. They're doing it for everyone in Hong Kong. And the thing is, most of the people in Hong Kong, or a good portion of the people in Hong Kong, support the protesters.
Yep.
But I saw on the television a news broadcast. Of course, it's the government-controlled news.
Right.
And it was so incredible, the propaganda, even though it was in a language I couldn't understand. I could tell by the way they were depicting everything. They actually did recreations of bad, protesters beating up people with big long sticks and stuff. And I mean, it was just as corny. It was as corny a recreation as you could imagine.
So they were trying to make it look like protesters were attacking innocent people.
This is the propaganda that mainland China is promoting on all of.
But they didn't have any actual video of it, so they made a dramatization of their story.
Well, they would take some video clips that were real, where somebody is fighting back, trying to protect themselves, and then they would include some obviously fake staged acting, where guys doing like a kung fu thing. It looked like an old kung fu movie, to tell you the truth. And and they promoting, of course, that the goons are the good guys and the protesters are the bad guys. And the problem is that this technique works, and that is the real issue. The real issue is that all these propaganda mechanisms actually work, and they're in play here in the United States as well as overseas. We are getting dosed with a very strong amount of propaganda on both sides. And
absolutely.
Basically, it's being set up to divide the people so that they don't see the real enemy. The real enemy, of course, is Washington, D.C. It has been. I mean, I've been saying this for 30 years. I called radio talk shows 30 years ago and told them, your enemy is in D.C. It's not across some ocean somewhere on the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
And their enemy in Hong Kong is right there local, which would be Beijing. Even their own Hong Kong government is not their friend, because their Hong Kong government is a bunch of stooges that belong to Beijing, and they're controlled by Beijing, and their media is as well. So I don't have a lot of hope for Hong Kong.
I wonder what it was like before 1997 or roundabout there, when the British lost their 99-year lease or whatever it was in Hong Kong,
right?
And China took
Hong Kong was much freer.
Hong Kong was. Yeah, so they were actually the most.
But what I was going to say is specifically, and they still are pretty economically free, all things considered. They still rank number one compared to the rest of the world on the various different charts that rank economic freedom. And that's to some extent because the Chinese government has not strangled the golden goose until just recently, when they really started to crack down on these protesters. That's when it started to get pretty bad. At least that's when we started to talk about it again. But you mentioned the state-run television apparatus from China. Did they have independent news before 1997? And then how quickly did that get wiped out? Is it wiped out? Are there other television options in Hong Kong that are not state-provided? Or is it all now, the Xinhua News Agency, or however you pronounce it, from China?
I don't know for sure about the television, but I know about the print media. A good portion of the print media in Hong Kong is now owned by the Chinese news agencies. There is at least one print media that is an independent print media,
really?
and they are resisting Beijing.
Interesting.
But the tactics they're using is Beijing is shipping over operatives, because it's very easy to cross the border between Beijing and Hong Kong. So they ship over operatives, and these guys typically are wearing white shirts because the protesters are typically wearing black. So these white shirt guys will run around in the subways, and when they see the black shirted people, they'll just start beating them with sticks, and it's basically triad type tactics. It's the old triad.
Gene, I don't know if you had more to share from your trip to Hong Kong, but if you do, you're welcome to stick with us here. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Moments remain. We got enough time for you. Maybe if you get on the line right now, we'll get you on the air with us here on Free Talk Live's Live Saturday show.
With more people listening to radio than visit Google, Facebook, or YouTube, from the very young to the very old, everyone listens to radio. Pillow companies, alarm, identity theft, nutrition, insurance, banking, automotive. The list goes on and on. Billion-dollar businesses. Why? The answer is radio. The media everyone tunes into. Find out how effective and affordable radio can be for your business. Contact 877-996-4327 or advertise at gcnlive.com.
We can all agree these are troubled times, right? So do you know who's on your wireless network? Whether it's a big company selling your data or a foreign hacker, if you're not protected, everybody sees your information. That's why you need Flash Routers, a custom Wi-Fi router created for privacy. Flash Routers uses a virtual private network, or VPN, to protect your online activity from hackers, trackers, and large corporations. And not just one, but all your devices with one out-of-the-box setup. Plus, Flash Routers also enhances your wireless network performance and unlocks powerful router management tools to let you take total control of your network. Call or click Flash Routers today at 1-866-509-5817 or FLASHROUTERS.com. That's 1-866-509-5817 or FlashRouters.com. Protect your wireless home network today with Flash Routers.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything you want here. And even in these remaining moments, we're going to try to get you in with you tonight. It's Ian.
And nobody.
And let's go right back into your phone calls and thoughts. But I do want to invite you to freetalklive.com. And you can follow us on various different social media platforms. Of course, nobody, you've got your own social media for your political campaign. Where they're all linked from electnobody.com, right?
Yeah, you can get to most of my social media from electnobody.com.
It's one of the menus at the top.
Yeah, there's a I can't remember what the heading of the
contact, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But there's actually one new venue, which is on the Discord server. I now have a text channel. And I've also got a new project that's going to be starting on Friday, which is Nobody Tells the Truth. 10:30 until midnight or later, Eastern Time, half hour after the end of Free Talk Live. And I'm going to be talking about my campaign and economics and crypto and whatever you want to talk to me about. So,
all right, very cool. That's starting this coming Friday. Is that right?
Yes, it is. Okay, 10:30.
Very good. We'll look forward to that. Check him out at electnobody.com.
And that's going to be internet only, so it's at dlive.lrn.fm or twitch.lrn.fm.
That's correct. You can follow us on those platforms. Plus, Free Talk Live has accounts on Twitter for now, over at twitter.freetalklive.com. You can also go to follow us on Mastodon, which is the decentralized alternative to Twitter, over at toot, T-O-O-T, toot.freetalklive.com. Or if you're on the Telegram platform, you can follow our channel there at telegram.freetalklive.com. Let's go back to Gene the Christian Anarchist. He is on the line with us, having just returned from an international journey, including Hong Kong. And I just wanted to see, Gene, if you had more to share from your trip, more observations. Go right ahead.
Well, yeah, I'd like to continue, so they're sending over thugs, and the thugs are attacking the protesters.
In China, or in Hong Kong.
Could I ask you something, yes. Gene? I'm pretty sure they don't have a recognized right to keep and bear arms in Hong Kong. Are they aware that they're not going to be able to take on the Chinese government without guns? That they've got to... they're going to have weapons if they're going to fight back. Do they realize this?
Yeah, they're hoping to have the numbers. Now, they did have the numbers. At the beginning of this protest, there were marches where 1 million and 2 million people hit the streets. And that is a significant number since there's only a population of, I think, 6 million in Hong Kong. So that's a huge percentage of the population of Hong Kong supporting the protests. Now, that kind of numbers could not be stopped even by the PRC if they came in there with guns, because, eventually you'd be able to take the guns away from them if you had those kind of numbers. Now, they had marches where doctors and lawyers were protesting in the streets. But what's happened now because of the violence, because of the thugs beating up protesters, because of the pressure from Beijing, and they're using a long strategy. They're putting pressure on the protesters. They're injuring some. They're arresting some. They're killing a few. And what they're doing is causing those numbers of serious protesters to dwindle, because most of the people aren't going to go to the street and run the risk of getting killed or stuck in jail.
Right.
So,
well, not unless you're inflicting casualties on the other side. I mean, people will go out and fight if they think they have a chance, but if you're just going out and waiting to be picked off, that's a terrible plan.
Right. With no weapons, so what's happening is the protests are dwindling. Beijing will eventually either kill or jail most of these poor kids. And then basically Beijing will have their way with Hong Kong. I'm afraid that's exactly what's going to happen. And they're, of course, going to do it before the 50-year agreement. One thing about Beijing is they don't honor any kind of agreement.
What was this 50-year agreement? I'm not familiar with that.
Hong Kong was supposed to be under a two-party, one system for 50 years after the English gave it up.
Oh.
Or, I'm sorry, two systems, one country.
And it's only been like 25 now, and Beijing is already pushing to take it over. So I'm sure that they're going to get their way because the people don't have arms. Now, this is a caution for Americans, because if they get our arms, eventually this is the same scenario that we're going to be facing. Because if you look throughout history, it's happened every single time. It's not going to change this time.
Nope, it's true.
It's still going to be the same. So if the people give up their arms, they can expect to be ruled by a dictatorship in the future.
And we've
the
seen
only thing that these people understand is force of arm, rebellion with arms.
And we've seen this happen in the United States with Occupy Wall Street, with Black Lives Matter. Now, I've got political disagreements with both of those groups, but they go out unarmed and they get brutalized. And yet a lot of these people are the same people who are saying restrict firearms ownership. And I don't understand how they don't make the connection between not having guns and getting beat up by police, because it's happening to them.
Thank you, Gene, for your call tonight. Appreciate the story there. Let's go to Josh. He's in Dallas, listening or watching us, rather, on Twitch. Go ahead, Josh.
Hello.
You're on the air.
Yeah, so I want to talk about tech scammers. Just to let everybody know, I'm using a voice changer.
That's okay. What about tax scammers? What is a tax scammer?
Or a tech scammer. So what they basically do is they send you a pop-up via your internet browser. So they'll add another window, and then it'll basically say contact this number. You have spyware on your computer. But there's also student loan scammers. That I've kind of been trolling with. I met a guy named Lawrence. He's from California. His number, can I share his number?
No. We're not going to give out somebody's personal phone number on here. But what you do bring up here, Josh, is a concern for folks who, they may not know how the internet works particularly well. They could fall victim to a variety of scams. And some of these scams do involve, I remember somebody called, or they didn't call here, but somebody was called who we're connected to in New Hampshire, and the person on the other end of the line was claiming to be from the IRS and saying that they need them to send them Bitcoin in order to get
the IRS wants Bitcoin.
Yeah. So
that sounds legit.
Yeah, this kind of stuff happens. And Josh, thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate it. If
you randomly see a pop up that says you got spyware or the IRS wants to talk to you or whatever, that's not true.
Right, and if you call the number, it's likely going to be some scam artist who is going to tell you to connect to them, allow them to connect to you remote desktop, to get into your computer to help you, of course, clear out the spyware. when you're instead giving them full access to your computers. So
ain't nobody got time for that.
Let's talk to Olivia. She's in Arizona watching on YouTube. Go ahead, Olivia.
Hey, nobody. I just wanted to make a few comments on the taking the houses thing. I was actually thinking today how you're paying the government to tell you what to do with your own property.
That's
right. Oh, my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope that we don't have to make Julian Assange didn't kill himself memes. That would, it's bad.
I've actually made one already.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, gosh.
But the point being, he's still alive, so let's act now.
Yeah.
It's like, right, call it before it happens, so maybe it'll be less likely to happen.
Yes.
But I was trying to think of alternatives, like how to get around paying property taxes, and I'm already assuming that Governor Nobody would abolish the property tax.
If given the opportunity, I suspect you would.
If I can, I absolutely will. I'm not going to make that a promise because I can't do that unilaterally.
Right, you would need to have
what the legislature would have to work with me for that, but I sure would try.
That's awesome. But I was thinking three different things. If a tribe, just bouncing these off of you.
We got time for one. Go fast.
Okay. If a tribe, like an Indian tribe, would let you live on their land, or maybe if you could start your own city, or honestly, I forgot the third one. So
here's a third idea. Liberty-minded folks should migrate to the same political jurisdiction so they can actually have an effect on changing the way the government operates, and then maybe we'd have a chance to repeal property tax. But we need more people to migrate together in order for that to ever be a chance.
Also, a religious community is a possibility.
Yep, that's an option. Olivia, thank you for the call, and we will see you tomorrow night online in the meantime over at freetalklive.com. Enjoy your weekend.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I've always been high energy, just going, and I turned 40 last November, and I was tired all the time. Now, taking the Balance of Nature, I just feel good. I have energy when I get home to still wrestle with my kids and do the honeydews at home. It's nice. I can tell that it just restored me to feeling normal, which is great.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,462, silver at $16.85, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,777. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, Mexican media and public figures are increasingly growing nervous about the possibility that continued drug cartel violence in the country could lead their northern neighbors in Washington to act rashly by declaring the powerful criminal groups to be terrorist organizations, resulting in a U.S. military intervention on Mexican soil. The speculation comes after 9 U.S. citizens from a Mormon sect were slaughtered this week by a drug cartel. Also on Thursday, Mexican daily Sin Embargo published a story detailing how U.S. lawmakers and top media outlets are pushing for the U.S. government to declare the cartels to be terrorists. Such a move could clear the path to